Ha! I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. Welcome back.
You say that as though I'm not going to cut your singing into the intro there.
Welcome back to this episode of Higurashi.
Hello.
Where I sing a lot. So is he because he likes to sing and dance.
I thought you were going to go into the melody of the Australian national anthem there for a second.
No, I was not going to do that. Why would I sing such a terrible song? It is Mother Russia where I come from that I am most proud to be in. Don't be scared. You want to
I feel like
kiss
a lot
Mother Russia.
Fewer people in Australia could sing the opening of the national anthem.
Australians, let ostriches.
Yes, like most people I feel in this country, fewer people in this country proportionally could sing that opening line than could sing the American national anthem's opening line.
I mean, I just don't feel that we're as patriotic. Look, we live in a country...
No, Ben. Not people in America.
Yeah.
People in Australia
I know.
could sing the American national anthem more than they could sing
we
the
could sing
Australian.
Australia. Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Okay, good.
We live in a country... I'll link this video in the comments or the description or something where, because I have it favorited and liked, it's because it's the best video. Our Prime Minister, the person in charge of our country, presidential equivalent, went to a national, football event. And he stood up. Tony Abbott is attending the stage, whatever. And it is just an entire stadium of boos. And he just smiles and waves.
I love the video so much.
It's one of my favorite videos of all time. Not just because shitty politicians, but we live in a country that boos the most powerful man in said country, and that's just everyone laughs.
That's the best.
That's it.
It's fantastic. I mean, basically, as a prime minister in Australia, you have to retire and then get into speed drinking to be cheered by a sports crowd.
It's very true. It's very true.
There are still regularly videos of former prime ministers chugging a beer at the sideline of various sports events that make the news.
That's how they get through the day, honestly.
Whereas when it comes to the person in office, it's just
everyone hates them.
Roast from start to finish.
It's great. It's a nice, it's a casual relationship with a bruv. Basically. That's how we do it in Australia.
I might have mentioned this before, but there was a history teacher at my school that used to be in student politics with Tony Abbott at university.
Yep, sounds fun.
And his history teacher always used to just complain constantly about everything that Tony Abbott was doing when he was in office because he went through student politics with him. Yeah. It was just this piece of shit did this in student this.
It's great because I don't even feel like there's this is the side of the country that likes the prime minister. This side doesn't. We just collectively hate all prime ministers. We can never be satisfied.
I feel like that might just be down to your perspective more than anything else.
It might be.
But I mostly agree. I'm just more cautious of my own opinion than you are.
Yeah, I don't care. Look, if anybody wants to fight me on the internet about shitty politics, don't. I don't know that much about it, so
it's just a meme.
It really is.
I feel like other countries learn about their political history. The only thing I know about Australian political history is that we lost a prime minister in the ocean.
Oh yeah, we did. We never found him.
That's all of the Australian political history education that I have.
Because he just went swimming or some shit, and they found his towel and his clothes on the sand and nothing else.
Yeah,
that's horrifying.
Beautiful
what the hell
story.
would you do? What is emergency policy for losing a prime minister?
Well, there wasn't one. That was the problem. But let's not get started on that.
Anyway, this is not a political show. Where were you, Felix?
I was on my way back home.
But what about Keiichi?
The cries of the Higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening.
Thank you.
More time had passed than I had thought.
How much time had passed?
Enough that the orange of the dusky sky was being chased down little by little by an indigo color approaching from the east.
I'm glad that the description of the scenery also told me how much time had passed. That's really efficient writing.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Did you know that purple, Ben, is the shadow of the Earth on its own atmosphere?
Purple, really? I thought that purple was just synonymous with sexual frustration.
The audience couldn't see me or hear me frustratingly blinking at that comment, but I just wanted to let you know that it happened.
I just want to let you all know. Color theory.
Yes,
it's a thing. Look it up. Look it up!
My favorite piece of color theory, just to continue the tangent before we get into the rest of the episode.
You're supposed to cut me off. That's the bit.
No. No.
I'm supposed to say something stupid, and then you cut me off and we continue.
My favorite bit of color theory is that blue and orange, frequency-wise, intervallically the same as a musical fifth.
Intervallically. What? Yeah?
So, like, you know, a musical fifth, you know, like...
Sure.
That ratio, it's like 2 to 3 or something.
It's all jargon to me.
Between blue and orange in the visible light spectrum is the same ratio.
Well, there you go.
And people say that that's perhaps why those colors are so satisfying to fit together. Just like the lights on the cars and the buildings in the sky here.
I believe everything you're saying. If anyone in the comments knows what intervallically and musical fifth mean, let me know.
I will
educate me.
I will link the video I got this from in the comments.
Do it. Right below the video of Tony Abbott getting
Adam Neely's New Horizons in music. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa without even noticing I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill.
That sucks! He must be so
I don't understand any of this.
tired.
No one had told me to my face what I'd done that I'd done something wrong. No, in fact, I might have been much easier on me that way.
Maybe he needs some barley tea.
What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity.
Hello?
Is this a new track?
Hello? Is someone there? Hello?
Is this a new track?
Maybe.
I don't recognize this one.
Maybe. I don't know what track this is.
It was no more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross at a red light as long as you did it with other people. I'm not going to tangent. I couldn't. I'm not going to do it.
Just keep going.
Not going to.
Color theory. Get out of this.
Storehouse for ritual implements. Hallowed ground. Only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things that I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, though it didn't matter what was stored away inside, it didn't make the wrong I had committed any more right.
Oh, God.
What the 4 of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the 4 of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? Doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet he's completely oblivious to the fact that they're dead. That had just skipped my mind. I thought he'd get it, but he hasn't. I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Oishi-san, and all I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again either. I'm sorry. If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? Oh my goodness, he's getting straight into this.
It's almost like we're having throwbacks.
I know.
It's great.
Is this post-shadowing?
Well, it's alright. It'll do better next time.
The suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. It might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest... Oh, God, that was a nasty chord. Oh, that was off-putting.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh. It's still going. Oh, that might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day.
It's great, isn't it? This scene. Oh, God. Because he's like, yeah, maybe we can just put it all behind us. We had this last time, and the music is letting us know it's
not happening.
It's happening.
Once again,
the shit is happening again.
Ryukishi's...
It's beautiful.
Despite how poorly he cuts his music in this visual novel, he's still using it well.
Yeah, his choice is really good.
Except for that one scene last time, which was just way too happy. Yeah. I don't remember where that was exactly, but I remember it happening.
There's one track in particular that I'm really looking
What do you reckon? What do you reckon Keiichi plays his music on at home?
I mean, I imagine that he has those little tape doodads. And he puts his headphones. He's
got like the tape Walkman.
Yeah, Walkman.
Yeah.
And sometimes he sits on the train and just goes around in circles around the train track.
There you go.
Yeah. And his father has to come get him in a limousine or something.
Now that I made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals.
Yeah.
I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it was softly punishing me.
Ooh. He's not in a good place mentally.
He is not.
Oh, the piano.
It was a really bad place for that scene to transition,
it was
but
just about to pick up in intensity. Yeah.
I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mum called me from downstairs.
Keiichi, you have a call. It's from Sonozaki-san.
Sonozaki? Was it Mion? No, it was Shion.
Who was
I just remembered. She had something she wanted to tell me today. Uishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight. Hello?
Hello?
Is that you, Shion? Hello. Ran into a bit of trouble today, didn't we? She said it so plainly I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal. Oh, that's a point. That's a point. That's a point.
You fucked us!
Yep.
You haven't given a point in a while.
Intentionally, mind you.
Yeah.
Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run away with me, didn't I? You just sat there looking dazed, Keiichi.
I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that I had to put up with that Higurashi guy for ages.
A whole 10 minutes.
Also, what was the signal for him to come as well?
I don't know.
I must have missed it as well. I wouldn't have escaped.
Remember when you were like, maybe Shion winked? Maybe that was the signal.
Maybe that was the signal. Maybe I did in fact notice, I just didn't understand. Similar as Keiichi.
There you
go. Don't complain to me about it, whoever that was.
I can't believe she passed it off like that.
Yeah, what a nerd.
She looks just like me on a nerd inside. She's this different. I got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was somewhere in my mind hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person. Sorry, next time I'll run away first thing and leave you there.
Hey, it's ladies first.
Shion laughed refreshingly.
We're all friends here.
Yes. When I heard her voice, I realized she wasn't that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be...
jarring transitions.
Yeah, lots of those.
Anyway, you had something to tell me, right? Oh yeah, I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? I love playing games like this where he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
But what do you know?
Well, what do we know has happened?
What do I not know?
Clearly, Gifu-san never told him what happened.
She unlowered her voice suddenly as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know.
I don't know what I know!
Sorry, but I have no idea, no clue what you're talking about.
But do you not know what you know?
At least give me a hint.
So that means you don't know.
She seemed to take my stupid sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest.
I mean, in fairness, if he knew, he'd probably know exactly what she was talking about.
Sure. Probably would. I'm sure this all makes sense at the end. However, Ryugashi, what the fuck? What are you doing?
However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about last night during the Watanagashi festival.
My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask the same thing?
Hello?
Hello? Kei-chan, are you listening?
Yeah, I am. What about last night?
The four of us went in there, right?
She didn't beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened.
Are they just not going to tell him? Are we just going to go through another scene where he doesn't find out? I really hope we actually just get told.
Tension.
Oh,
weren't they?
I know.
Weren't
they? Then after that, we walked away together and went our separate ways near the stone stairs, right? Takano-san and Tomitaki-san went to the stream and you stayed there, Kei-chan. I went over to see some relatives.
Yeah, why do you ask?
We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions, so let me ask this question first. Okay?
What? We won't make any progress if we keep asking questions, so I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay. Question mark.
You mean did I see Tomitaki-san and Takano-san last night?
Huh? Yes. Did you see the two of them after that?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today.
Oh my god.
Why? What the hell was going on? Why are you asking me that?
No, Kei-chan, I'm asking the question. Please answer me.
Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer. My shabby response portrayed how scared and small I felt now. After everything that had happened today, Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered me.
Of course, I didn't see them. My relatives were with me, and they can vouch for that.
I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me too, like Mion, Renner, and everyone else. Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than anything else.
Thank you for answering me honestly. Okay, then I'll tell you. Tell me what?
Exposition time.
Apparently last night Takano-san and Tomitaki-san died. Thank goodness this is happening in narration.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said?
Apparently last night Takano-san and Tomitaki-san died.
Flash.
Takano-san, there's no space between the full stop. Takano-san was found burned to death.
I didn't notice that.
Tomitaki-san was, well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning.
Oh boy.
I heard my dad talking to a relative on the phone about it.
But how did he die?
Late last night, a police car on its way back from the festival security duty had discovered Tomitaki-san lying in the middle of the road heading towards Okinomiya.
Oh boy.
He had clawed out his throat and died.
Really just laying on the sound effects tonight.
Loving it. It's like a real horror story.
What? He clawed out his own throat. That bright, cheerful Tomitaki-san committed suicide.
Flash.
That can't possibly be right. Police did an autopsy. He did it with his own fingernails.
Ugh.
He scratched at his throat so hard that he ruptured blood vessels and bled out.
Ah!
He died in a pool of his own blood. That's what they said.
Horrifying.
I never heard of such an insane suicide. You can't just scratch open your own throat like that.
Ugh.
Let me try just now.
No,
Over the phone.
no, Keiichi, no!
I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my voice.
Ah.
I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and went up to my own room.
Good plan. I like it.
Sorry for yelling. So, was Takano-san, was that a suicide too? In her case, it's a little unclear. Long pause.
Oh look, we're in the trees.
Okay, I have a question for nobody to answer.
Okay.
Is the choice of this background explicit? Is by showing this background the same as when we saw this background last, or is it just generic forest mountain background?
I don't know.
Because if it's specific forest mountain background, this is just before or just after where we were when Keiichi saw the thugs up near the dump site.
The thugs? Is that what you're calling them now?
What else do you want me to call them?
I don't know. Two gentlemen.
The random mooks?
I don't know, dude.
Anyway, so like, if this is intended to be the same background, what does that imply?
I don't know.
Is there something special about that location up near the dam that we should be concerned about? I mean, other than the dam, obviously.
Yeah, what's going on with the dam, dude?
My voice is going.
It's alright. Have a drink of water. You'll be fine. Don't die on me, my love.
Oh boy. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of the Gifu Prefecture.
That's what I call Gifu.
Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late last night that they could see flames in the mountains.
Oh boy.
The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded that it was the burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for dental comparisons from the blank prefectural police station in Kinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area.
It's interesting they didn't, like, find her at all in the first arc. In this one, they're like, there she is, burned up in an oil drum.
Yes. I mean, and the obvious thing is, right, is that, like, burned in this novel is, or in any mystery novel is, like, is this the actual time of death?
Sure.
Probably not.
Yep.
Is it the actual corpse? Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, as a wise detective once said, boy, it's sure is a trick to like burn corpses to fuck with crime scenes. It's fun.
I don't remember which detective said that.
You know, some crazy young guy, with blazing red hair.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, the oil drum had fallen over, so it's also possible she burned herself to death.
I guess so.
I feel like
that's a little.
This
possible.
line feels like it's thrown in to throw the audience off.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what's happened at all.
Maybe. I don't know. She's a bit ditzy, you know. Whatever. She's like, oh, sure, somehow you're pretty cool. Let me sit in this oil drum. Let me sit in this oil drum, and then it sits on fire.
See, the thing is like, was it someone else that burned her alive? No. Was it her that burned someone else alive, pretending to be her? Yes. But why?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because she could have just gone missing like last time, so there obviously has to be a reason why she wants to be suspected dead this time. If we're assuming she's the one responsible, which of course she is, have you been paying attention?
Sure. I like your theory so far.
Yes.
This is fun. Sure. Let's go with that.
That couldn't possibly have been suicide. If you're going to die, there are plenty of easier ways, aren't there? This can't be suicide. That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Tomitaki-san would kill himself, too.
Flash. Oh.
After the two of us rattled at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. And as we calmed our nerves, right then I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it'll end up being Oyashiro-sama's curse. We all did more than enough to deserve it, after all. Deserve? You've got to be kidding. It's not like Shion wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault and no one else's. Shion, last night when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky, but I never even dreamed that something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if we were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Keiichi, think about it for a moment. Didn't know Yashiro-sama's curse turned out a little strange this year. Another double music track! Stop it!
Oh, yes.
Stop it!
Higurashi with the double music.
I've had it with you, silly boy.
The way.
It was already plenty strange, seeing as how Tomitaki-san and Takano-san died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger?
Flash.
I mean that they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said.
Flash.
Every other year, one person would die and one person would disappear. This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead.
That may be true, but it's not a huge deal, is it?
It is, Keiichi. Think about it harder. Listen. 2 people die because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. And in order to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger, 2 people would need to be sacrificed.
Is that how it works? So what? Tomitaki-san and Takano-san died, and now 2 people are gonna go missing this year.
Stares at camera.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but when I said that, I felt my spine freeze.
Oh boy.
I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think those 2 people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her back.
2 people have yet to disappear.
Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap a fist around my heart, cold hands feeling about on my chest, some Indiana Jones 2 shit. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitaki-san opened the lock, and he died. Takano-san exposed the ritual storehouse, and she died. If 2 more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be no other than the ones who entered with them. None other
Than us.
Spooky.
No, this has got to be a joke.
I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke even now. That, though, was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitaki-san and Takano-san had died in a common way like a car accident, I could tell myself it was a coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death drowned in oil in the mountains. The 2 deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why... Also, that should be Shion and me. Have at me.
Fucking...
That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing I was running away.
I thought I was the one who was supposed to fight the internet, not you. You take my job away from me.
I won't, Ben. I won't take your job away
I
from
will
you.
kill you.
In the first place...
It's not even in the newspapers, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspapers and television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking it'd make for an interesting story.
Of course, it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past, too. When the incidents occurred for the 3rd year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media. So it's the storyline of Jaws, then. I hear the elders and the top brass from the Sonozaki family will put all the pressure they could on the police. What is happening to my voice? It's not even like...
Are you okay?
I don't understand. I really don't. It's not like sore. It's just not making the same noise it should be. Like, it feels fine, but it sounds wrong.
Your finely toned voice is crumbling before your eyes.
Yes, and I now have this lovely gravelly tone that is just gonna make everyone fall in love with me.
Shit! He's playing this out too well, ladies and gentlemen!
I've done it. And you mean the deaths
I'm figuring it out.
And you mean the deaths are gonna be dealt with in total secrecy?
That's how it is. Of course, the police are investigating it. That's being performed in secret too, though I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with police investigation. The story was unbelievable. People died and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret.
If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of the Watanagashi, it won't go public. I fucked it up again. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I ever heard. That's 1 point to Ryukishi.
What the fuck is happening? Calm
Keiichi-chan.
yourself! Calm yourself, that girl no good.
Keiichi, before I said how the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oyashiro-sama's curse, that's what I mean. At some point a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa, where every year you're allowed to kill someone on the night of the Watanagashi under the guise of it being Oyashiro-sama's curse. I love that they've put this in the scene directly after Oishi being like, Mion could kill someone in the middle of the street.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
When someone dies on the night of the Watanagashi, it turns out into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret.
That's insane. Then the missing people turn up every year. Oh, how bad the stigma gets, the police have to draw the line somewhere, don't they?
You could say the incidents happening every year is mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidents always get resolved individually. Doesn't end up being a string of incidents, you know? Just so happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of the Watanagashi every year. That's all it turns into.
Literally everyone is like, there's a string of events. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get and stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was in essence resolved. The dam supporting couple who died in an accident on the second year, that was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It concluded it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. On the fourth year, the sister-in-law of the dam supporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought Oyashiro-sama's curse was so interesting and he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while in prison, so this incident was essentially resolved as well by Spork.
Died by Spork.
That's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved. Or so they thought.
Oh.
So then why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year on the night of the Watanagashi? You can try and say it's a string of related incidents, but they're not related. Yet every year someone always dies and someone always disappears.
Yeah, it's very strange.
The story Takano-san told me the day before had, during the setup. Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off.
Then does that mean it'll come for us too? Just like how one person dies and one disappears every year. Are you saying we'll be taken along with Tamataki-san and Takano-san in a race too?
Hush.
My lips had at some point become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. I agree, that was difficult to say.
There's a lot of words. I'm sorry for you.
Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me. I mean, wait, come on, who is this?
It must be Keiichi. You just said it was silence.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Oh, God. No, I'm responsible. Fucking. Why did I say anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have, but we were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything or take anything out. We didn't tell anyone that we looked, right?
I was already regretting having committed such a wrong, so... Even so, was it really so bad that Tomataki-san and Takano-san deserved such cruel deaths?
Woo!
Besides, I didn't care about anything I saw in there at all.
Takano-san was the only one getting so happy over it, wasn't she? Takano-san was the only one at fault. I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested, I'm not involved, I don't give a shit about what was in there.
Yeah, they deserve to die.
I won't blame anyone else, he says. I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam and I couldn't stop them anymore.
Broken through the dam? Is that a metaphor for the actual dam?
Is that
for Keiichi breaking through the actual dam with his baseball bat?
We've done it.
Foreshadowing!
The entire village will drown, thanks to Keiichi.
Okay, let's go.
I didn't have any interest in any of this from the start, damn it. Though I
damn it!
Yeah, I think my understanding of the dam was not that it's overlooking the village and would flood if it was broken, more that it would be filled up over the top of the village and the dam would stop it from going any further.
Well, you know what? I guess we'll find out.
Because otherwise the village wouldn't end up underwater because of the dam. That's not how dams work.
I'm just making an awful joke.
I know you were. I just wanted to make sure that I was on the correct page.
Yeah, you are. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm just fucking with you. As I do in this playthrough.
Yes.
Fuck with your brain.
I didn't have any interest in any of this from the start. Damn it.
Damn that dam.
All I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance.
Yeah.
You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion?
Yeah, Shion.
I didn't give a rat's ass whether those two were trying to steal something or trying to meet up secretly or whatever.
Yeah.
That's right. You are the one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion.
Yeah, fucking get him.
You were all Keiichi, you need to see what's inside, and you convinced me and then pulled me in. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this.
This is a long page.
What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this?
Oh, no.
Huh? Hey, you listen. That
was a long page. What the fuck is happening?
Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down.
Oh no.
I love that within the space of one scene, he's gone from like, I shouldn't blame anyone to,
it's you! And she clearly did not take that well.
Clearly. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things.
Yeah.
My riled up emotions disappeared as if they'd never existed, and in their place surged waves of deep regret at having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late.
What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I went to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Akademiya. I didn't know her phone number.
Fucked up.
Since I had declared to Mion I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back.
So stricken with hopeless regret, I returned the receiver to its stand and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. That sound that's already playing.
Hello, this is Maybar.
I swept up the receiver as I thought it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at exactly that moment.
It's gotta be.
It's Keiichi from the police department.
Is that Keiichi from the police department?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah, he was the guy in the tips, wasn't he?
Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna assume this is my voice. Is this my bar residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Keiichi. Is this head of the household?
It was the voice of a middle-aged man.
Close enough.
All my hopes rushed out of me.
No, it isn't. If you need Dad, I'll go call him.
I went to put the receiver back down, but the man stopped me hurriedly.
Oh, no. If he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but it's my old man. Paying you a visit?
No, nobody's here at the moment.
I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye.
That sound. I don't know who that was, but if Shion tried to call while I was talking to him, I thought, bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Keiichi Maibara. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore.
Calm yourself, Keiichi Maibara. If Shion does call again, then first apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand.
However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night.
That was weird.
It was. It's also the end of the chapter.
Yay! That was fun.
It's the first time I think we've just ended on a completely blank screen.
Yeah, that's a weird, different thing that's
More
happening.
scrapbooks!
It's all very tense. Yeah, I guess we got time to go through
We got
these.
so much time.
Let's do it. Achievement unlocked. Close calls. Oh boy.
I love
Love
the
scrapbook.
puns.
Alright, let me see if I can... Where's this voice at? My goodness. The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment, that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onikafuchi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it's said that the feast, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I'd thought that the residents of Onikafuchi village were fascinated by the Watanagashi ritual. They looked down on those vulgar barbaric humans, cut them open like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. At least that's what I thought. However, if what the villagers gained from the ritual was not fascination, but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's a possibility that the executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Onikafuchi village has been effectively ruled over by the three old families, called the Three Old Families. Without investigating the three families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onikafuchi village. There you go.
But of course, we won't tell you what they are.
No, of course not. Why would we
That
do
would
that?
be- that would-
Maybe in the next scrapbook!
Maybe in the next scrapbook.
Alright, let's go. The three families. Don't edit that.
I won't edit that. Why would I?
That was great. The three families refers to the three old families who effectively came to rule in Higurashi village. To break it down, y'all, there was the Kimiyoshi family, the Furuta family, the Fa family, and the Sonozaki family. Awful. And each of them still exists today. It's gonna get in that Sick Milan reference.
I swear Kimiyoshi was someone at the police station. Am I wrong?
I don't think so, no.
Who was it?
Kuma-chan, there was a Kamiyashi or something. I don't think Kimiyoshi was at the police station.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. But yeah, they caught us last night, apparently. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The three families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the three families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Yoshichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office, even through popular elections in the post-war era. The Furuta family. The center of the village's face since ancient times, the Furuta family has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Ashiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house, as well, presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furuta, so the lineage may end in this generation. Tune in later to find out more. There is apparently an old tradition of honoring females of the Furuta family, so the only daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Sonozaki family. It's said that this family had a certain police-like role of protecting the village's precepts of Enigafuchi village. Of the three families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the three families has completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oreo, has essentially decides all of the goings-on in the village by herself. Oreo? Yeah, Oreo.
That's
But
very
she's got
interesting.
a creamy center.
There's like, aside from the Kimiyoshi family, I don't think there's anything particular, and I guess Oreo's name there. I don't think there's anything particularly new in that.
Information-wise?
Yeah.
Well, there was some information like, he's the mayor, even though he doesn't have as much power, he's just like always elected or whatever.
Yeah.
Rika's the only person of her house left, which is a bit sad. And the Sakis used to be like police or some shit. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think that the Sonozakis being set up as like the police is obviously meant to try and make them more suspicious in the scope of this.
Maybe.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, the ones that are reinforcing the rules of Oyashiro-sama, thus, carrying out the murders, probably. It's meant to point the compass at them, but
Maybe.
I'm kind of past the point where I would suspect them of that.
Well, fair enough. You don't think that's suspicious?
I don't think they're not responsible, I just don't think that they're the ones behind it.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's find out.
Kind of similar to where I see Uishi.
I guess so. Late night phone call.
Let's go.
But they said there weren't any more phone calls. Who could be calling
Who could
so
it
late
be?
at night? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, you see, I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if our old man was visiting you at the moment. You've got that right. Yes. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling so late. Goodbye. Click. So, no good. I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always at least gives us a call. You called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? Ring! Hello, this is Kimiyoshi.
Which Sonozaki?
It's a great question. Let's find out.
I guess I'll just use the Sonozaki voice, even
Use a
though...
Sonozaki voice.
yeah.
We'll find out later.
This is Sonozaki, how did it go? Have you found the mayor? Oh, there we go. I wasn't expecting that to get answered so quickly, actually.
I'm glad that they did. I almost did. Yep. Yep. Let's go. Oh, shush you! I was thinking! Oh, Mion-chan, I called everyone I could think of, but I came up with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about?
I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have had an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said we should get the men of the village together to search for him.
At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing.
Watanagishi just happened. She thinks we should be a little more cautious. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations.
Dario-san said that.
Yes. If you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then I can put her on for you.
No, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police in the morning.
Do you reckon she was bluffing, or do you reckon that's actually what she said?
What do you mean?
Here. Oreo-san said that. Do you reckon she actually did?
I don't know. I'm not the one going through the story for the first time.
Also, is it Mion or is it Shion?
It's great questions.
Questions.
These are all questions in this little tip boy.
She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well as Nana's representative.
Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately.
Is Nana already dead? Questions for the audience. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. It's very interesting that we've introduced the mayor and had him disappear both at, like, the same time. I feel like that's a very significant break from the normal structure of the way Ryukishi does things.
Normally he foreshadows this stuff way further in advance.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Like, here's Keiichi, and he's walking around, he's got his walking stick, and he's beating young kids or whatever, you know?
Yeah, and like...
then he goes missing, like, Doc Keiichi.
And then, like... The other thing is, you know, they bring up the fact that he's supposedly... They suspect he's out playing Go and he just hasn't come home or whatever. So it's very interesting that Keiichi's dad is on that list when so far...
There's been no mention of him playing Go.
No mention of him doing anything for leisure, really.
Except for painting the inside of his house.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, like, I guess it still could be his mother, but that hasn't really been established either.
Sure. We don't know.
In fact, it's almost set up in such a way that, like, that scene has just established that Keiichi's parents could be involved, like, and responsible. Because it's like, his mother's into detective fiction. Oh, by the way, this guy you played games with has gone missing.
I don't know.
Like, I don't think that's what it's pointing at, but it's obviously, like, kind of angled in that way.
I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, it's...
you got any fun thoughts?
I don't know, like... We're still kind of at the same point where we have a lot of questions about when is Shion or Mion playing whichever one of them. Because I think it's obviously happening in this episode. I mean,
it's a detective fiction story with twins. They're trading places at some point. Like, we know that's a thing.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
We would assume so.
And, like, even if they are not trading places, you can assume that they're doing things for each other. Like, the fact that relationship is there is clearly meant to be played off. And I want to get more into the recap about what I think about the both of them being in the story and what you said in recap 1. So if you're part of that enormous discussion in the comments,
shout out to you.
Yes, please don't miss the next recap.
Shout out to Funk and Rockmore and Nerd High or whatever. How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know
either. Shout out to you nerds. See y'all in the next episode.
I wasn't done.
You weren't done?
I wasn't done.
All right, what do you want to say then? Spit it out.
The other thing that I think is interesting here is I thought Keiichi wasn't going to go... Don't sigh at me doing my job.
Normally we do this at the start of the episodes.
Yeah, but this has been a short one. I want to reward the people. We've had a few long ones in a row.
Let's do it. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's reward the people for their patience.
Yes, but like... I thought that Keiichi wasn't going to go nuts this episode because I felt like, given the foreshadowing at the end of last episode, the introduction of Shion, the way that they've been behaving, the fact that, you know, they had the eyes appear on one of the twins earlier on in this episode, like surprisingly early and surprisingly out of the blue, I didn't think Keiichi was really going to be... Oh, and also the fact he didn't hear the sounds in the shed, that was the other one. Like, I didn't think he was gonna go nuts, but we're still kind of getting that same twist in character, where he's like, don't blame other people, and then wall of text about blaming people.
Yeah.
He still hasn't done the I've never been sick and then missed a day of school thing, but we could still get to that.
I guess that's something that's kind of interesting. If you're theorizing that there is some like extraneous force that's like kind of shifting his character in arc 1 and onwards, like how much of this is caused by that, or how much of this is just part of his character, right? Like,
well, I don't think that there's anything that we've seen that isn't part of his character. I think that even his actions last episode were still him, but they were just like him interpreting the world wrong. Like, I think that given the way that we see Keiichi, he's overdramatic. He, yeah,
he is best boy. He's a magician of words.
The kind of his overreaction was blown out of proportion because of the way that he perceived things happening around him. I still think that was him. Okay. I also, there was mentions earlier on that I commented on about, the fact that his family moved really far away. And it's implied that it's for his father's work, but it could also be because of Keiichi and his, shitty school life somehow.
Maybe.
So I do think that I should be paying attention to those aspects if I'm trying to see what's really going on in Keiichi's head. And kind of I don't think people affected by whatever it is, I'm sure there's a community name for it, but I don't want to ask it because let's not go there.
I got another for you, so.
Yeah, whatever this madness is, I don't think people are not themselves. I just think that they are reacting to circumstances that are not true, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure.
Maybe it makes them overreact more, but it's still them acting.
Okay, sure.
If that makes sense.
Sure. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad that you've gotten your theorizing in there.
There we go. Now we can close up.
And I'm so glad to be here with you today, Felix. This has been a wonderful episode. Thank you for being here.
You sound really enthused. It's almost like we're getting into the part of the novel that's about to break your heart again.
No, it's fine. I won't be that bad in this one. So.
Oh, yeah, because he doesn't like Mion.
No, I love Mion. What are you talking about? I love Mion. I love Mion and Shion and Keiichi.
There is some severe favoritism going on here for you.
Not. It's fine.
Next time.
Next time.